It's been a little while, so I'm going to give this a second to catch up with my screen because there always is a delay, but I've talked because some of you, right, if you're not watching live, then it'd be weird if I just sat here. Hello, how is everyone? How you doing? How you doing? Happy Friday night. Oop, I muted this. I muted it. First thing I did because it was making noise, I muted it and it didn't listen to me. Just like everybody else in my life. It didn't listen to me. So how you guys doing tonight? I'm very excited to be here. It has been a little while. I was on vacation and then I was teaching last weekend, and I actually teach all day tomorrow, but I thought I miss my friends. There's a lot of people who I haven't seen or made any art with. So I'm here tonight. And we're going to be doing some mixed media Christmas tree cards, but this technique could be used for any of your art. Thank you. I am better. I still have a cold, but it lasted 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks, this illness, and it was not fun. But feeling much, much better today. Went and got my hair done. That's why I didn't do anything with it other than just right. And it's dark because the toner, we go dark when we first do it because then it washes out much lighter. So that just happened. I just got my hair done, came in, was playing around with this technique that I really think you guys are going to love. And we're going to talk about, Natalie saw me yesterday, the day before, and it was like white blonde. And then I went and got it cut today and said, go dark with the toner because it's going to wash out. But I kind of want some, what do you call it? Like some depth. I want some depth in the color. So I did that. And tonight, I'm excited. So I kind of put it out there on the Vicky Booten Creative Community Facebook group. What do you guys want to see tonight? And a lot of you are so awesome. Anything you make, Vicky, I would just like to be with you. And then I'm like, okay, but just give me an idea so I don't have to think about it, because this week, right, I was sick and then it just has been a crazy week. So then I thought, okay, we talked about layering with stencils, and then I thought, let's make it seasonal. So why don't we're going to for sure do 2 techniques, possibly 3 techniques with acrylic paint and distress ink. So I just think greens and white. I need white. You'll need white acrylic paint for a resist technique with the distress ink, and then green paints for layering and resist and removal technique. And then we'll see. There's something I just came up with that is kind of cool. So this will be fun because you could do this to make trees for the background of a layout, which I think could be fun. And maybe there'll be a part 2 for this. And you could also do this for some quick Christmas cards or gift tags. So I think this will be fun. It's a fun right before December, coming off the U.S. Thanksgiving, fun technique class tonight that won't take a lot of time, not a lot of effort, just good for the mind, body, and spirit, and us to get to spend some time together. So hello, friends. I'm going to flip the camera because I haven't seen any of your comments or any of the things. But hello, welcome back. If you are joining me tomorrow, we are doing the Christmas flipbook class, which you guys know I'm excited about because I designed this product for the flipbook. We did the free Halloween one, which didn't come as a kit. We made it from just the Halloween collection pack, but this one is actually a kit, and that's a shaker and then the snowman. So we're doing this tomorrow. If you have all of your goodies and you want to join, you can just go to vickybooten.com and get access only. It's cheap. I put it up there for cheap. And you can play along with us tomorrow. Some of you, I think, won't be live with me, but you'll be there when you can. And that's what's awesome about these classes. Just join us when you can. So yeah, if you wanted to, and some of you guys, if you were with me in Texas, you made this already. So tell everybody, it's a fun class. And we'll be there. There's no prep. We're going to do everything together. It will take us, it's all day. It'll be all day. We'll start at 10 and we'll probably finish up around 5:30, 6-ish. And it's going to be awesome. So very relaxed, fun class. So you will need that Mistletoe and Memories flip book. You need the Mistletoe Memory 6x8, the frames. You need the stickers from that collection and the acetate and vellum, and then just a couple sheets of the Staples paper. So it's going to be good. 10 a.m. Eastern time, correct? Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera without further ado, and let's talk about that. Sorry, no makeup or anything on today. Like, look at Vicky put an effort in, but I got my hair did and I have clothes on, so I'm winning. Like, look at, I'm duded up. I've got like a sweater and my cuffs out of my sweater and everything for you guys today. But the sweater's coming off as soon as I flip this because it's freaking hot. So let's do the things. Here we go. Blair Witch you for a second. And I'll show you what I was playing with, just like lickety split, quick, quick, quick. And it's going to be fun. Here we go. Boop, boop. There we go. So let me hook you up and not hang up on you. There we go. Straighten it out. So you'll see I was playing. I already put some stuff down here. Much better. I'm feeling much better. I'm taking the sweater off. Whew. Hot. Hot. So what's really fun with doing some art techniques in mixed media, that it can be pretty primitive, fun art. And just by cutting it into a basic shape, which I think there's nothing easier than a kind of Christmas tree, it can be really fun. So you'll see that I got to roll up these sleeves like I'm Beethoven tonight or something, right? Da-da-da-da. I don't know if that's Beethoven, but you know what I'm saying? I have to roll them up. Can't have my pirate sleeves when we're going to play with acrylics. Let's fix that too. How you guys doing? What's happening? Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving? If it is your time to celebrate. Canada, we finished ours already. I missed it because I was in Texas. But I haven't had turkey yet. I'm going to have turkey at Christmas because I haven't had any turkey. But I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Did you go shopping today? Did you do the things? Thank you, Natalie has put a link up. Just sorry, I'm having a hard time with my button here. The greens are beautiful, and I went with blue greens, and this, I'll show you the colors of paint. I'm using Liquitex. If you have followed me at all with doing gel plate printing and such, I love Liquitex Basics. I think it's a great acrylic paint. So I've got a really bright one for the resist technique. And then I have a, this one, can you see that color? Pterodactyl green. Phthalocyanine maybe, pterodactyl green. And then this one, that's a nice kind of in between the two of them, which is Hooker's Green Hue Permanent. Right? Pterodactyl green, and then Brilliant Yellow Green. Just the name for me, right? Oh my goodness. Like I just watched Akila, whatever, and the bee, what was her name? And she was like, did the spelling bees. This would be a perfect one for them to spell in a spelling bee. But I think the F is silent. So I think it's phthalocyanine green, pterodactyl green. Okay. And then I have white. And if you have the Vicky Bouton white that comes in the tubes like this, it's a great white paint as well. I'm gonna cough, sorry. And then I went with greens with my Distress ink. So I have Pine Needles, Cracked Pistachio, Mowed Lawn, and then Lucky Clover. So I went with blue greens and then one that is more of a yellow green. Okay. And then I need something for a background on these cards. You'll see when we get there. So I just went with two blues. I went with like Evergreen Bough and Broken China. Kiki Palmer, yes. I love that movie. I have watched it many, many times, but I love it. Have you guys seen it? And I love her. So yes, I watched it. Akila and the Bee? Akila, right? Is her name Akila? Or am I making that up? But yeah, great movie. So I watched that last night. And just because it's a feel-good movie. And now I have colors that should be in spelling bees. But this is a favorite green, the pterodactyl one. I love this green. If you don't have it in your stash, it is a really good green. It's this one. It's like almost like Emerald City green, right? So I was playing around, and we're going to layer with some stencils, but I thought acrylic paint will be fun because if you don't have distress ink, you could do this technique with whatever paints you have. Whatever paint you have will work. I have a heat gun. You're going to be impressed. I prepped 2 card bases, so 5x7 card bases with a mat that I did at 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. So those are ready to go. So I will have finished cards tonight. I have an alpha stamp set. And I just did this all right now. And then I am using the block alpha lowercase so I can put joy on the card, or Noel. So I have that ready with just black ink. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. And then I have Vicki Boutin stencils because I thought, why not? This one is called Fans, but look what it is, like scallops. So I see a very easy tree out of this, right? A very easy tree. Now I inked it right here. Can you see it? Like, how pretty is that? So we can do one like this or just use this background, and I could just ink this up, cut it out, and then have a very basic tree. But that's using the scallop upside down, right? Well, or using it like a scallop instead of like mountains. And it looks very Dr. Seussy to me. So I thought that is a great idea. Can do a tree like that. And then I think I'm going to use, we could do one like, how fun would it be to use the doily, and you could create doilies and cut those out. That'd be kind of fun. Could do a doily one. I'm going to use probably just something basic like this, the polka dots. This one would be great for snow. This will work for snow if you want that. But what else? Anything you want to use. Like, I love, this is the brand new set, right? So it's stencil set number 3 on vickyboutin.com. But I was really thinking this one, I could use another scallopy type. And this one is called Wonky Scallop. So I think that's what it's going to be tonight, fan and scallop. This could work. So whatever you want to use, whatever you want to do, totally works for me. So what techniques are we going to do tonight? 2 for sure. And then this one that I just kind of made up. And that's just literally using the stencil. So we're going to do one where we're going to do a painted background with a brayer. And then I'm going to show you quickly what the technique's going to be. And then we could use it in real life. We'll do it in real life. These stencils look cool. I must be out of the loop. Are they new? They are. They are new. There are new stamp sets, and there will be dies on the way. They're in production right now. So they're on vickyboutin.com. There are 3 sets of Vicki Boutin exclusive stencils. So this one is going to be by laying the paint down. We can put paint on top and we'll lift it. We'll do like a layer and lift technique, because once that paint's on there, you can't lift it, right? Once it's dry, it's not like distress ink. So kind of the same technique where you could add it. We'll do 2 different things. We'll do 2 backgrounds like this, and then we'll do one where we can do some stencil stamping with paint, and we'll do one where we remove. So probably now I say that, by the time we're done, we're going to do 4 different techniques. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 techniques tonight. Are you ready to go? So what do you need? Acrylic paint, distress ink, because you need a water-soluble ink, and a brayer. I'm going to cut masks, so some scrap paper, ink blending tools, and maybe like a makeup sponge. That's what you need for tonight. Okay, but I'm very excited. I think we could make masks. Like this one is just, I brayered it with a really wonky brayer, and I really am digging that. Like when you lay it on a background and you embellish it, it can be super simple. Like I could go, I'm trying to be smart, where like 50 different ideas are going through my head, but I think it's smart to only limit it to 4, Vicki. 50 to 4. So let's do the things. So I'm going to work on foundations paper. You can work on watercolor paper or anything that's a little bit heavier that will accept acrylic because it's wet and it is heavier body, and you'll need something like that, right? So I went in with my polka dots, the circle stencil. There's white paint on here. I want to show you something that can happen when you use acrylic and distress ink. So when I go over this, it's going to resist. So that is a quick technique we can do using our acrylic paint. So we can layer stencils and then just have a fun design like that. And that's just with paint. And that was very, like, I used a blending tool. So we can do something like that and then watermark it, right? And get a fun technique. Very quick and easy. So I love that, right? This one, what I was saying, is two different things that we can do with this. We could go in here and brayer or brush some ink on, or rub it on with your finger, whatever you want to do, right? Just kind of do a technique like that, right? And then we could take a stencil. Let's grab anything here. Oop. Just use this one because it's there. And then with that same wet paper towel, we could buff that off and do a cool technique. And it works because the paint is already on there, right? So that's going to be one of the techniques that we're going to do, is just a lifting technique. Okay. That'll be one. This will be another one. We're going to do another one where we could actually apply paint to the background with our brayer. So we can do some different layering techniques. And acrylic are your friend because they're very forgiving. Acrylic are your friend. Acrylics are your friend. That doesn't make sense now. I don't know if that grammatically makes sense. Are you excited? Who's going to play along tonight? Who is still on their turkey high from yesterday? Hi, Valerie. And you're like, oh, I don't have the energy, Vicky. I went shopping today. I worked too hard this week. So that's a quick review of what we're going to do. And this one's going to be fun too. So if you want to do this, be great for layering on a layout. Okay. So we could do two things. Well, here, I'm just going to show you. I think it's just easier. I'll just show you what we could do. So I thought it'd be fun to mask, but you could just make the backgrounds and cut out. What are you thinking? Do you like the idea of creating a Christmas mask where we cut it out of paper so you have your shape already and pulling the product through? It'll be trickier. The easier technique would be just to do them and then cut them into triangles. So why don't we do the easier technique so we can bang these out? So by doing it, I'm going to do one technique on this side with the brayering so I can get two different tree techniques out of it. And then I'm going to do two on this side with the other technique. So you need one sheet of paper and we're going to do the 4 different techniques. So I'm using my foundations paper, which is a smooth white finish, and it has almost a little bit of a vellum coating on top. So it is great for holding the mediums and it doesn't buckle. So are you ready? You guys ready to go? For the brayering technique, you need a craft mat. You need to apply your paint onto a surface and then lift it with your brayer. Okay, and then lift it with your brayer, and then you're just going to brayer it on the background because it is the easiest application. It will be a very thin layer and it will dry fast. Plus you can add texture with the brayer. Okay, so let's do it. I have my brayer. My favorite are the rubber brayers with the handle like this, the plastic handle. I prefer these to the springy metal handle because I find you have more control. And thank you for everybody who's thumbed up the video. It's super easy to do and it helps people to find us. So I very much appreciate that. And thank you for everyone who has also hit the subscribe button so you don't miss when I go live. It's really worthwhile to start your own Vicki Boutin folder, and then all of your favorite techniques and lives and classes you can save to your folder. If they're private classes, just make it a private folder, but if they're just regular old YouTube, you can put those in a file. But I find if you want to do this and say you're not going to do it for 2 weeks and you want to find it quickly, putting it in a file is super, super easy. Hi, Karen. How are you? Just enjoying a relaxing day after a wonderful meal with family yesterday. That's awesome. I love that for you. So I'm going to go in first with the hooker green hue, which is the more yellowy green. You do not need a lot. You can always add, but you can't take away. So I'm going to put a little bit of paint down like that. Everybody can see that. My screen is up high, so let me just make sure. And I'm going to brayer this onto my background. So I'm going to lift that. And then I'm just going to go in there and do a couple of layers of paint. You can come in from a different direction. Put some more paint down and I'm going to go in again. I love it already. It already starts to kind of look like pine branches, right? You might have to look really closely. You'll be like, yeah, sure thing, Vicki. We've got some of that hooker green on there. Look at that pretty pattern. Isn't that fun? So if you have die cuts you want to use, you could use those instead. If you don't want to just do this. This is a fun thing that you could do with your kids, your grandkids. If you're a teacher, it's a great, you can get brayers pretty inexpensively, probably even on Amazon. So I'm going to go in with a little less of my pterodactyl green. I know some of you art teachers out there probably can pronounce that better than I can. This one. You can see that. And that is definitely more bluey turquoise. It's a beautiful color. An absolute favorite. Don't cover everything you already did with your first green. Just get some of that on there. Love my brayers. Okay, and we're going to leave this to dry now. I'm going to fill in a little bit in there so there's not too much white. Because the white will not do a great job with resisting. But love that. Just made our own pattern paper. Right? And because we're brayering it, it will dry really quickly. So I'm going to clean up because that's who I am. So just add a little bit of water on my brayer, wipe it off with my paper towel, and then I'll wipe my craft mat off because I'm going to need to use it for the white technique as well. Enough. And then just a quick cleanup of my craft mat. There we go. Did you guys get your color down? There we go. Okay, so that's our acrylic side. And we're going to do some more stuff on there, but for right now, we're just going to wait for that to dry. We'll give it a blast with our heat gun after. I'm going to lay some distress ink down because remember, I want to do this technique and I want to do this one, but okay, here's a question. Do you think this will be nice if we layer two colors, or do you like it on white? So you decide, because I can cut this one out, so I have a white one. But I'm also going to do one where it's more of a contrast. So maybe I'm going to go in with some cracked pistachio. So I'm going to ink up some cracked pistachio. Oops. Should I do that for both? Maybe. Just keep it easy, right? So we can do lots of things. Watch, for one, why don't we just drag our ink pad and get a technique like that going. Kind of digging that. I might do a little bit of that down here too. Just fast. I want tonight, why don't we make this like kind of interesting with fast technique, right? So that is just dragging my cracked pistachio pad. Way faster than the blending tool. I'm kind of excited that I just got all wild and crazy with you guys. Look at that. And let's drag a little bit of mowed lawn on here too. And I might blend that out a little bit, okay? So I'm just taking, it's a clean blending tool. Now this is going to act differently than some paper because it is foundations, right? So that ink actually doesn't blend right into the paper, right? So that's why I was actually able to rub that out. I love it. So let's go in with the easiest technique. I'm using this stencil, which is a scallop that I think could work perfectly for one tree pattern, right? One tree pattern could go here. Let's move it over like that. And I am going to try to ink kind of almost in a rectangle. I'm going to go over this with Lucky Clover again because I was really digging that color. Will there ever be new foundations paper coming out? Maybe. I'm going to work on that. So let's say eventually, if I have my way. So I'm going in here and I'm doing this kind of pattern that I can cut a tree out of. Love it. And we could, if you want to, a little, let's go in with slight watermarking on here just to make it not as crisp. And then I could go back over the stencil again if I wanted to, but I'm kind of digging it. Look how pretty that pattern is. Look at that just for a background. If you wanted to do a whole background with that technique, you totally could. Okay. Kind of loving it, to be honest with you. We'll have to remember that. Remind me, guys, and we'll do a layout with that technique on it. Okay. Isn't it pretty? And I think it's those colors, Natalie. So remind me, let's revisit this technique on a layout next weekend. Okay? We'll revisit this technique on a layout next weekend. But how freaking fast was that? And while I'm at it, I'm just going to give this a quick heat. Okay, so this is going to be one tree. Now, so one of the techniques, right, is that distress ink or acrylic paint will resist distress ink. So which pattern? I was thinking the polka dots for this tree. Or do you want me to go in with something more detailed? Because I could do this one. Could be really pretty too. Like this could be really, it's too big. You need something that has a little bit more detail in it. How about a floral? Let's do a floral tree. Let's do a floral tree. Me too, because I'll tell you, the one thing, if you hang out with me long enough, I'm going to get you to love mixed media. It is my plan for 2026, because there are amazing things coming this year. Stick around. Stick around. You are not going to be disappointed. So I'm going to go in with some white. Okay. So I'm going to have another longer, narrow tree from over here. Okay. So I'm going to go in now with white acrylic paint, and I'm going to use a dauber, and I'm going to daub paint through. Okay. You don't want to go in too thick. You want to build this in layers. If you go in too thick with acrylic, you'll push it underneath. So I have a very thin application of paint on here. And I'm going to start pouncing it, and not everywhere, because I still want to see some of that green. But let's just pounce a pattern. And then we're going to let that dry a bit, and we're going to pounce a little bit more paint on there. Pounce, pounce. More pounce in the ounce. One full flower for sure. Okay, so why are we doing this? Because it will resist the second layer of distress that we're going to put on top of here. Let's look. Oh, that's so pretty, friends. It's very pretty. Let's come over here a bit. Like I said, there is a lot of fun stuff coming this year, and just stick around, and I'm going to teach you lots so you can see it. It's very subtle. Very subtle. Can you see the flower? Very subtly. It is very freeing. It is very freeing, and I'll tell you, it's my jam. I've been doing art forever. I went to school for fine art, and I went to school for graphic design, and then I became a dental assistant, because isn't that what you do? And then I had my son, and I've always done art. I've mural painted, I do life drawing, all of the things, always creative. And then when I had Riley, I discovered scrapbooking, and I feel like that let me do pretty much anything I wanted to within my pages, as well as I love photography and documenting. So I have done mixed media forever, but my market for the most part has been scrapbooking. So we do paper and all the rest of it, right? Yes, these stencils are mine. These stencils are all Vicky Boutin stencils. It is stencil collection number 3. It just got added. There are 2 stamp sets that go with this as well. And you are going to see that in addition to that, there's going to be dies for these. So I'm going to go on here and dry this. And we're going to do one more. It's acrylic, so you know what I mean. I'm just trying to hasten the drying time, but it's acrylic, so it's plastic. Hello, Lil Conkar. How are you? My friend Lil was sick too. We were like about a week apart in our cootie bugs. And it's not because we were together. We just both picked it up from traveling because people travel with their cootie bugs. They don't stay home when they're sick. And then I let my guard down because I still mask when I fly and I hand sanitize because I just think it's smart to not pick up flu bugs and all the rest of the yucky stuff that's out there. And I didn't. I was cocky. And then I got cooties. Natalie, is that link for US only? US and Canada. And then if you're international, you cooties are gone. Oh, good for you. Mine is just lingering a little bit. The links are both because we ship from both places and are stencil available to the US market. 100% they are. Everything is. That's new. Everything that's new. US ships from the US. Canada ships from Canada, and I ship you internationally from Canada. So don't be afraid if you post and you're like, wow, that shipping is crazy. If you're only ordering the stencils, when Greta puts them in an envelope, she will reduce your shipping when I put them in. But it's a flat rate online based on a 13 by 13 by 4 box. So if you go on VickyBooten.com right now and you're like, I want all 3 of these stencil sets, I love them. We'll put them in an envelope and your shipping will reflect what actual shipping is. I just can't put multiple shipping in, if that makes sense, right? So they ship from, you're fine. When you see it, yeah, if you live in the US, they'll ship to the US. If you live in Canada, they ship from Canada. And internationally, they ship from me, okay? So we have done this technique. We've done this technique. These two, this one's done. This one we're going to add some more ink to. This one we haven't done yet. So are you ready? I look at this. That freaking turned out beautifully, and that's all with a brayer. Oh my goodness. Like, look at the artist you can be. And that's why, what are we not afraid of? A piece of paper, because it's only our time and a piece of paper. So if the first one doesn't turn out, grab another one. We're not afraid to try new things here, right? So let's do the first technique, which is we're going to put a thin layer of wet paint on. The paint has to be wet to do this. So we're going to put a thin layer on, and then you're going to pick your pattern that you want to lift. You're going to lift a pattern into that. So what pattern do we want to do for that one? How about this one? I think it's kind of funky. Let's do this one. We're going to do 2. It's going to be the same pattern for both. Get ready for this. It's going to be the same pattern for both. So this one is called Woven Circles. I hand drew all of these stencils are hand drawn. So they are all hand drawn stencils. So we are going to put some of that green paint down, and while it's wet, we're going to put a stencil down. What do you need? You need a slightly damp baby wipe or slightly damp paper towel. It needs to be clean. And we're going to lift the pattern off, okay? So here we go. I have a paper towel ready. I'm going to add a little bit of water. I don't want it sopping wet. I just want it damp, okay? It's damp, right? I couldn't squeeze water out of here. It's just damp. And I'm going to put now something that has a lot of contrast. So let's go in with a lime green. Could you brush it on? You could. You could brush it on, but you don't want the paint to dry. Okay, you want this to be a wet technique. So you need all of your stuff ready because you're going to go in here and work right away. So why don't we just put a little bit of paint on our finger? I know, freak you out, right? And then just kind of brush some of that green paint on here. You don't want it too thick. So let's just brush some of that green paint on here. Remember, it's going to be a tree. So get it up. We're going to cut a tree out of here. Okay, don't overwork it. It needs to be wet. Wipe my finger off. Put my stencil down now. And I'm going to lift, my towel's not wet enough, that pattern off. with my wet towel. And this isn't going to fray or get balled up because we already put a layer of acrylic on there, right? So let's lift that pattern off with this stencil. And then we can also blend some of it out. So don't worry if your paper towel starts coming apart. That's totally okay. Okay. So play around with the patterns you're using. Let's see what we got. Because, right, it's a piece of paper, my time. It could turn out beautifully, or I might look at it and go, ooh, I should have used a different stencil pattern. But I'm totally okay with that. Oh, I love that. Look at that. But that's a really solid block. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lift some more of the paint off by rubbing it. And if you let this dry a little bit, you can kind of burnish some of that paint off too. It's like almost a sanding technique. You know what I mean? So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of give it a rub. So where some of that thick paint is going to lift. I might put my stencil down again. Can I lay it? I don't know. We'll see. I might not be able to position it perfectly, but I might. There. I think. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to lift a little bit more. Hi, Pam. Okay. And buff. Do a little buff. I just don't want solid green all over there. You know what else I'm going to do? One with bigger holes. And I'm going to take some of that and lift some of that paint off. And get a clean paper towel. Let's see. Let's lift some circles. And I might even get wild and crazy and put a little bit of water on there to help it. Ooh, yep. Just don't rub too hard and take all your paint off, okay? Ooh, I love this. So this is going to give us a couple looks, right? Because now we'll take pattern off with the polka dots. Oh, I love it. Look. So we lifted with the polka dots too in that pattern. I'm going to buff some of that off to soften the look a little bit. Ooh, look at that. It's really lifting now. Just watch you don't fray your paper. Okay, so there's one technique that's lifting. And then obviously maybe the one I did was a little too detailed. But when you do something simple like the circles, it'll be easier to lift. But we're going to do another technique that I really love. Are you ready for it? We're going to apply pattern with a stencil. So what about this one? Lael would love this. If I was doing this with Lael, she would love this, right? Did you pick up some of the paint with a damp or dry paper towel? It's damp, Lael, because acrylic has a lot more body. It's not like ink, right? So, and when it dries, like it dries permanent. So if I went in with just dry, I wouldn't lift enough. It has to be slightly damp to lift, if that makes sense, right? So we deposited white paint on top of our dried ink over here. I'm going to go in with a darker ink and we're going to highlight that pattern over here. And this, do you see this background? That was just rubbing ink pads. So kind of awesome, but you need a paper that has a coating on art paper. And then we went in with a stencil and then some watermarking, and we're going to do this again next week. We're going to do these techniques for layout backgrounds. And then here was brayered 2 ink colors, went in with wet ink, lifted the pattern with a stencil. We're going to deposit pattern now with a stencil and paint. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go in. Should I pick one more green? What do you guys think? Or should I go in with a lime green? So I'm going to brayer that lime green on this stencil. I do not want a lot of paint on here because I'm going to force it off with water. Right? I'm going to force it off with water. You need a private lesson. 100%. You know, I love mixed media. And what I love is we are using acrylic paint, which a lot of people have from your crafting days. Like when you bought all the wood stuff and you craft with the wood and you know, I want you to have it because we're going to do gel plate printing big time next year. There's going to be a lot of gel plate printing, right? So I'll go in with the lime. What are we going to do? I'm going to put it on the side of my mat. I'm going to brayer it on to my stencil. Now, I'm going to tell you something because we don't waste. Grab a scrap piece of paper. Why would you brayer it onto your background? Brayer it onto something you can use to die cut out of later. So we're going to brayer it over a background that we could use for something else later. Rather than putting it on your craft mat, you're just going to clean it off and throw it away. So brayer. That paint is called Brilliant Yellow Green. And I'm going to load my brayer. And I'm adding paint to my stencil. That is my goal here. But it'll be a bonus that maybe some of it, it won't matter. It's not really going to come through here anyway. But look, I want paint on my stencil. It didn't even go through there, so it doesn't matter. So that was all for naught. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to mist this stencil with water. I'll put that paper on top, and then I'm going to brayer over top of that to transfer that pattern from my stencil. So we're doing stencil stamping now. So I'm using the stencil to add pattern like I would a stamp, right? So put that on there. It's color side down with lots of water. I'm going to put this on, and then I'm just going to brayer on top of it. So 2 things are going to happen. That I'm picking that pattern up through the brayer on my paper, which is kind of freaking cool. But I'm forcing that into the background. Let's see. Is it working? It's working. Look at how pretty is that? Now we don't waste here. So we're going to take, look at the pattern we made there. We also can mist this again. And let's brayer this onto clean paper. And I'm not even going to put a piece on top. I'm just going to brayer. And I'm going to tell you something. Make it really wet. Because if it bleeds a little, that's kind of magic. And the only reason is we're cleaning it, but we're also making pattern paper at the same time. There. So when you lift it, it should be much more watery pattern. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And now I'm quickly, because you know me and I have to clean up, I'm going to throw these in the sink. And now we're going to make our trees. Well, we have one more step to do. And we're going to make our trees. So let's get that heat gun. So you know what's really fun though is, so Lael does listing in Traveler's Notebook. She does all the things. But you are a perfect example, Lael, because I know you. And I know that you are not, I wouldn't say it's in your wheelhouse, or you don't do a lot of techniques a lot. Wouldn't you say that's true? You stamp with your inks and stuff, but you don't do a lot of background work. So I hope your takeaway from this, for anybody out there, is one, don't waste. Put your wet mediums onto something. This is paper is going to be beautiful. And look at, there's two sides to it. And this is just a little bit of a heavier weight. Cardstock. It's not anything magical. There's no sealant on this, so it is more porous and it accepts the mediums beautifully. But I love that background, and that is just from a dirty stencil, and it picked up some of the green that was in the background when we put that down. So this would go into my stack of when I just need paper to die cut, because guess what you do have, Lael? You have lots of stamps. So now you have backgrounds that you could stamp your alphas on and die cut them and have beautifully contained funk. So if you're a white background kind of person and you don't like a lot of mess, then you can still get a beautiful result from doing all these techniques. There is something for everybody in this, and it is just giving yourself grace and knowing that it's okay. It's just paper and my time. If I don't love how it turned out, throw it in my extra stack and then just cut shapes out of it. And it's perfect, right? Yeah, you could. Yes, you could. Okay. I am a cleaner upper girl. I know some people are not, but I would rather do it while everything's wet, and then we can use it again. That's kind of my thought on that. Some are not cleaner upper girls, and that's totally okay too. All right. Okay. So I don't need my craft mat. This is just an extra. We're not doing anything with it tonight, but look how pretty and subtle that is. Beautiful. And that was just cleaning a dirty stencil. You couldn't get this technique with everything, but you always can get with acrylic paint. And if you've done the gel plate stuff with me, we do this all the time. In between gel plate printing, we'll clean up the stencil. I think I cleaned this one a little bit, so we're good. Okay. So now we did stencil stamping with the acrylic paint. Distress ink would not work on this because distress ink resists, or I mean acrylic paint will resist distress ink. This one, which if you ask me, is not exactly what I wanted it to look like, because now I know it would have worked better with a less detailed stencil with more open space. But it's totally okay. When I cut my tree out, nobody's going to know the difference. So I'm totally going to go with it, right? So this corner down here is where we put some acrylic paint over distress ink. So now I want to take a color that contrasts this pretty background, which was the cracked pistachio, and what other ink did I drag on there? And mowed lawn. But that beautiful turquoisey is this. So we used Lucky Clover here. So what if we go in with a little pine needle? It's going to be pretty dark, but I'm not afraid. I can try the things. So what we're going to do now is ink over those florals. So I want to go in pretty light to start. Do you see what's happening? The white paint is resisting the ink, but not completely. It's still absorbing a little bit of it. So I'm getting this really fun technique. I don't want to cover everything because I still want that original color to be on here. But we're going to do a little bit like this. I just want to get you guys totally on board with doing mixed media stuff, because I do think it's fun, super fun. So I want it a little darker down here, so I'll layer a little bit more, maybe right here a little darker. Now let's see with a slightly damp paper towel if we can buff a little bit of the pigment off of the white. Okay, you don't want it wet. You want just slightly damp, because just, ooh, do you see what's happening there? Do you see what's happening there? I'm bringing the white back up to the top. Find a clean area. If you keep using the same area, you redeposit what you picked up. Okay, and buff. It's not wet enough that time. Oh, freaking love this, friends. It looks like old wallpaper, but if you don't get a clean area, you won't get white. You'll make a lighter green. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to dry that, and I'm going to go in one more time now with that dark green. Let's do this first. You ready? A little bit of water marking. Just put a couple drips on there. Take your clean paper towel and lift. Don't rub, lift. Oh, I freaking love doing mixed media. I don't care if I made anything from this. Do you know that the process literally fills me with such immense joy? So you know what needs to happen? I'm going to be doing some Vicky Bouton exclusives. I need to make some pattern papers like this. Would you guys buy these if I did a background, a whole pad of full-on mixed media papers? I think it could be really fun, right? Yes, it is like Victorian wallpaper, right? Okay. So I'm going to go in one more time with some of that pine needle. Yes, I'll just stick with the 2 color, okay? Because I could go in with another color, but let's keep it simple. And the only reason I'm doing that is, look at, I can tamp down a little bit of that white and get some darker areas, and then I will watermark one more time. Okay, watermarking one more time. Because now I'll get 2 layers of that. Not too much. 2 layers of those white dots. Love it. So if you had Christmas tree dies, you could use those. We're going to keep this all simple, so you don't have to have any special tools tonight. And now I'm going to cut Christmas tree shapes out of these. Like, where is it? Where did she go? This idea, right? I'm just going to cut simple shapes out. So we could make a stencil and cut them out. I think that'd be easiest. We're just going to fold paper in half and make some little triangles. And then we can cut them out. Okay? Or you could just go in there and cut it. But now I almost want, it's hard because I want, oh, we have to do this again. We need to do this again. So I'm going to say, if you're going to do this as homework, you could make cards, but I would like you to do a couple sheets like this for next week, because we're going to do a layout out of this. So you need a couple different patterns, different colors. So if you're going to make cards out of it, do it. But then I feel like you need to do an extra sheet, because I have a whole idea of doing kind of a whole forest of trees that we could do, and I think it'd be really fun. Okay, let's do it. So I am going to take some scrap paper and I'm going to cut some trees. So remember, I have card bases because I want to finish something tonight. So my card base is a 5x7, so I need this tree to be smaller than that. So I feel like I might do one more pattern there. We could get 2 trees out of that. So I'm going to do like a tall and narrow tree. So let's take this and we're going to make a mask that I could just draw with pencil and then cut it out so I don't have to just eyeball. And I am going to make that. I want the narrow tree to be no more than 3 inches wide. So I'm going to do 1.5 is going to be the width. So I'm just going to draw a 1.5 inch line like this. And then I want the height of that tree to be no more than, let's maybe 6 inches. So I'm going to make a mark here. And I want it to have a, here we'll do 5.5. I want it to have a trunk. So I'm going to just draw, boop. It can be eyeballed. And that's going to be the base of my tree. And then I'm going to take that top and I'm going to put it to here. Okay. So I'm going to make one tree like that. And then I'm going to make another one that's maybe a little fatter and shorter. So it can be, how about, we'll do 1 3/4 base for that. And this one was 5.5. Let's make this one 4.5. So I'll make its trunk a little narrower. Now I'm going to cut these out to make my scissors. Where are you, friend? These will work. You don't have to cut it like a surgeon. We're just making a template. Okay. So you can use the shape and draw around it with a pencil and cut it out like that. Or you can use this like a stencil. Okay? Either way, or either thing, whatever you want to do, okay? So which one do I want? The little one. I kind of love this one, so, and then we'll do a smaller one with this maybe. Sure. So I'm only going to cut 2 out right now. So what do we want to show? I want 1 full flower to show. So maybe from here. to just trace around that. Anybody playing along tonight? Are you playing along, Lil? Did you get all your stuff out? Oh, it's going to be so pretty. And then let's just do this one. But I feel like we need to revisit this technique. Well, you can later, right? You can later. I got a new pair of scissors from scrapbook.com that I freaking love. And I don't know where I put them. They were on my table earlier. Did you see them? Did you see where I put them? So weird, right? They couldn't have went anywhere. Clean up a little bit, Vicky. They're probably right in front of you and you just can't see them because there's junk everywhere. But I love them. They would cut through this paper beautifully. But I have lost them. I have found them. There we go. So, because I don't want to have to erase it, I'm just going to cut right inside the pencil line. So like I said, this is a great thing you could do with your kids, your grandkids, your students, if you're a teacher. And if it's thinner paper that you're using, they could fold the paper in half and have cut it out. They wouldn't even have to do the little stencil, right? Does not have to be perfect. I think wonky is charming. Good thing I have an eraser because I didn't cut inside. But look, how pretty is that? I might watermark it a little bit more because I cut all my watermarking out. Let's see. There, a little bit more. We'll erase the pencil lines. Pretty, right? Let's do this guy. And you know I'll end up doing more with this, because you could take alphas and cut out of this paper, which I think I will do with my scraps. I will take the dies and I will cut out of the background and do a bunch of alphabets. And I'm going to get myself a little container from the dollar store, maybe the one that you would store your embroidery floss in. This one I really cut wonky, just so you know. Where I'm like, it's okay if it's wonky. Well, I just proved that because I cut it way wonky. I might clean that up a bit. It's wonky. Oh my goodness, Vicky's new with her scissors. Let's see if I can clean this guy up a little bit. It's hard sometimes too when you're doing it live and you're going way faster than you would if you were just kind of playing around with your stuff. So you know what I mean? But again, just paper my time. I could recreate any of this again. Look how pretty. The first one I cut very straight. The second one, not so straight. But if I wanted to do now, right? Like a little thing of trees, or use one tree, I might cut one more little one. And I might just be crazy and just, can I tell you something? In a real world, this is how Vicky would cut it. So I'm going to show you real world Vicky. Because it's like 10 extra steps when I think we could do it in one fell swoop. Here's real Vicky, if I can find my X-Acto knife. Which I might not be. Oh no. Boo. I think I packed it in my travels, which I should have like 10 of them around here, but of course right now I can't find it. Oh, I found one. I knew it. This girl has an X-Acto knife, so watch. We don't waste anything. So I'm going to take this and do another wonky tree. You actually have to press harder. Boop, boop. I'm standing now too, so you know it's serious business. There we go. Another wonky tree. Let's do another one. Why waste this, right? It's the same shape. And I could stencil a little bit more onto it if I wanted to. My head in the shot. Sorry if it is. Sorry if my big head's in there. There's another one. Boop. Did I have any more white paint on there? So these won't be as, maybe as cool, because it doesn't have as much of the technique on it, but it has a little bit of it though, doesn't it? Like it very much. And this one is a total eyeballed tree. Harder to see too on this darker pattern, but we'll make it work. There. I love it. Look at that. So there's not very much ink on here, so I could fake it. But I got rid of my stencils. So look, I can cut one out of there too, all of this. So they don't have as much color on them, but you get what I'm saying, right? So we have some trees now. Oops. What would you have thrown away? The extra? Which part would you have thrown away, Lil? Okay, where is... Remember I told you I prepped card bases. And I showed them to you, so you know I'm not lying. I just got to figure out where I put them now. They're not here. That's what I was going to do them. Oh, here they are. Okay. So we have card bases. So you could go on there right on the red if you wanted to. You also, we could ink a background with the blues, which I'm kind of the mind to do. So let's do something, watch. I'm gonna go in with the evergreen bough, and I'm gonna ink quickly. We could do the smooshing technique. Let's do that quick. So look at package. Water. Background. Okay, let's dry that layer. Let's go in with the second layer. See? Hi, Scrappy guy. Yes, that would be cool to go in with pink, because these totally look like emeralds, right? Emerald City. Totally look like Wicked colors. I love that. You could have like a Wicked themed Christmas card. And all I do, maybe even change the matte to pink. Okay, so I have a very simple background that I did kissing technique. And look, I didn't ruin my package. Just wipe it off. Okay, but of course I'm not done. We need a small pattern. Where was the background one? Here, look it. And I'm going to go tone on tone now with the same ink color. And just do some kind of pattern on here. can kind of be like snow. It's blue snow, but who cares? Nobody's the boss of us. Like it. Boop. Clean up. Put your stuff away. And let's decide what we're going to use, because we have quite a few. Question. What is your work surface? I'm trying to come up with something. It's a giant craft mat. It's a giant craft mat. I don't think you can get it. Well, I know you can't get them anymore. But yeah, it's a giant craft mat. Oh yeah, pink like little baubles or whatever on here, you totally could. But look how quick I just made that background. And then you can decide, what do you want? Very tone on tone? Do you want to go with your green? Ooh, I love it so much. 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 What do we think? Kind of digging this. Now, see how that really blends? So all I'm going to do is ink the edges a little bit. Let's make that have a little bit more contrast. There we go. Let's see. That's better, right? So we can layer trees. Do we want this one on there too? What do we think? Or just do the two? Because then I could still stamp a word on here too. What do we think? Just the two trees? Or the narrower one? Here, let's look at this guy. I think the two too. I agree. Or, because I think the scale of that guy is off, we could do this guy. And I don't hate that if I go in with a smaller tree. But I am kind of digging just the two. But I feel like I need to do a little bit more to this one here. So watch what I'm going to do. Here it is. It's right here. That original stencil. But I'm going to go in with that green. So we layer and layer. Oh, I love it. That's all that needed. Perfect. Fingernails don't work, so I need a pokey tool. Because I can't pick it up. There we go. Okay, so I agree. Two trees it is. Save those for another day, another card. My mess. Because like, this is going to be so pretty, friends. Doing this on something else. We have all these, right? Make a whole forest. I did, because it is a distress ink, so I did some watermarking, right? And look, oh my gosh, I love this so much. Should I stamp directly on here? Noel. How about Noel? Noel, Noel. Do it the right way, dum-dum. N-O... E-L. I really love it. I really love it. There's lots of space on here too. You really could do whatever you wanted. Just giving them a rub. I'll ink them up. I'm going to stamp because I have not conditioned them yet. So we're just cheating because I don't know where my white eraser is. So I'm just rubbing them. Okay. Oh, I want to position it, but I am going to stamp it first on scrap, okay? I just want to see. I think it'll be near the top. What do you guys think? Noel, N-O-E-L, right? N-O-E-L. And we'll make sure they're lined up. They might not be very lined up. So let's fix that. I use my grid. Right? I spelled that right, friends? N-O-E-L. The Francais. It's almost better if I just did it wonky. Because I could be, take my time and I could totally die cut these, but I don't feel like it. I just want it to do it, to have it done, right? So we're just going to go with that. Yes, you do need it. Yes, you do. Okay. Let's grab a scrap. Grab a scrap. That'll work. Let's ink her up and see what it looks like. So this is one of my new stamp sets. Well, not brand new. It was on there already, right? Are we okay with that spacing? Do we like Noel? We could emboss it. We sure could. I could probably emboss right on this, or I could use embossing ink after, right? Everyone needs a Misty. I agree. Noel, Noel. I'm going to move it a little closer. Look at me being all card maker. There. Let's test that guy. Ink her up. Me too. I just don't have much time to do all of the things, right? But we're going to do more of it because I want to get all of you guys doing all the things. So this year, we're going to do more. And I just did Noel because it fits. Do you like a different word better? What are our thoughts? That'll look cute on there, don't you think? Right, Noel? We'll just do it. Let's just do it. Let's not overthink it. So I want it in that corner. Now, to position it, look at, help me be a better card maker. I think that will work. So I'm just doing it, friends. I'm just going for it. I'm just doing the things. I think Joy would be too short too. That's my thought. I agree with you. That was my thought too. We'll just do Noel because it's on here. And I can make more cards, right? So I'm going in. Wish me luck. I think it looks good. So I can ink it one more time because I have my Misty here, right? And it's just about getting stuff done sometimes. That's my take. So that is why you need a Misty, is just for that, being able to reposition it, right? And getting that super dark stamping. That's why you want a Misty. I would say that is my biggest, is that if I don't stamp it perfectly the first time, it lets me stamp it again. It lets me stamp it again. Okay. All right. We are going to have a finished card. We are going to have a finished card because I'm going to layer that on the red and then put my trees on. Now, it is a little buckly, but I'm going to let that just be part of it because it is handmade and it is mixed media. So I think it'll be okay if it lifts a little bit, don't you? It just kind of adds to the watercolory nature of it, don't you think? That is my story and I'm sticking to it. Oh, ink is still wet. What cleaner did you use? I used my spit. Am I the only one? There's a new Misty. Oh, I'll have to try the new Misty too. Try all the things. So I love tools. Okay, I don't want to rub on that and transfer the ink. I'll glue it down like that. I love it. Now we could pop that up. I'm going to put that flat though because I'm going to pop up one of my trees, okay? So what is different about the new Misty? I have multiple stamping platforms too. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Doing the things. So look at the base we made. Super quick, right? And then we can put one tree, two tree, like that. I love it. We can decorate our trees. We could put a star on the tree. we'll pop this tree up. Adhesive strips. Ooh, but it's black, but I don't think it matters, does it? That my adhesive's black. And this is my whole thoughts on this. If I took a little bit more time, I might do different things on this card. But tonight, it was all about technique and finishing something. So I am totally okay with this card. And I can still go and make more after with this technique, right? But sometimes what's it all about? Getting it done. And tonight, I'm just happy to get something done. So let's just decide positioning here. That one can go right here, like that. Oops, don't move it as much as I just did. I gotta look at it, make sure it looks straight-ish. It's straight-ish. And this one will pop up a little bit right here. And I could totally add stars. I feel like we need stars on our trees, don't you? We could decorate them too with enamel dots. What are your thoughts? I made a card. But you know, it's not blinged out enough for me. So I'm going to find a die that I can cut 2 yellow stars. And we could totally put stickles on the tree, right? I could cut this out again with the dies and I could offset them. What are your thoughts? It's pretty simple, but simple can be good, right? Simple can be good. I have Christmas stuff around here. Do I have any stars left? Let's look. For rock and roll. Let's look. Ooh, I like the black. Look at that. What do we think? You know, I'm having a hard time because this is a little on the simple side for me. It's a little on the simple side, but I guess that's not a bad thing. If you ask me what I would, the only thing I would have done differently is if I had the time to find it, is I would have loved to die cut a big word on there. So if I could find another die cut that like, could go with Noel and put it beside there, that I would think this card was perfect. Do you know what I mean? I want like a scripty word right beside it. I could handwrite it. Should I get crazy and just get a Sharpie and handwrite it on here? I could do that, couldn't I? Should I do the French? Joyeux. Should I do that? Joyeux is, how do you say that? Joyous. I am Vicky Boutin, but I can't remember how to say that. Joyeux, Noel. So let's practice it with the Sharpie. But do you see what I'm saying? And that would actually make me happy. I think if I spelt like this. Let's do it. Hi, Greta. So this is what I'm saying. And this is how I spell it, right? So imagine like this. Is that it? Help me with the spelling of that. That's not right. I think no A. I think it's like this. Is it? Thank you. So let's find a Sharpie that works because it's not that one. I paint markers too. Paint marker might be even better. Ooh, Vicky's going to get crazy now. I don't know how big this Posca is. Let's see. Ooh, the black will be perfect. Look at. Right? Let's practice it again. I'm just going to go for it. Okay, I'm going for it. The Posca for the win. Are you scared for me? What do we think? I kind of love it. What do you think? Did I spell it right? Better. Don't you agree? And now it is very handmade. Would you add anything to the tree? Or would you just go, boop, it's perfect, just leave it? Because it is very kind of primitive art, right? With cutting those backgrounds. Can I buy this card from you? You're funny. Thank you. You're just trying to be nice to me now, right? Black enamel dots. Ooh, that could be cool. Oh, or stickles, like black with like gold stickles. Let's look, because now you know. Now you know I gotta find something. Let me look at my stash. I'm walking away for a second. Stickles, where are you? Look at. Look. Oh, it's navy though. I was excited. Oh, how about red to tie the red in? How about red? Red to tie the red background in. What do you think? That would be kind of cool, right? If I go in with red and then it ties the red from the background in. I'm going to do it because it's what I have. Okay? I'm going to do it because it's what I have. So they are pops of color. Oh, look at you guys all being nice to me because you know it's not that nice. It's kind of, right? It's not that nice, but you guys are very good to me. Let's make sure these are working. Ooh, look at that, right? And just go in. They're self-leveling, right? So even though they have like a nipple, will they level? Or if I tap it, will they level out? Okay, I'm going for it. So my paint is still wet, so I got to be careful. So I'm going to build from the bottom up, and I am going to do this tree and then this tree so I don't put my hand in it. They self-level, okay? Because I don't want it to look like a Hershey's Kiss. Okay, here we go. I'm going in. I'm trusting you that these are going to self-level because I am not going to like. Oh, it's pretty, friends. I'm really digging it. Okay, I'm going to do this. Ready? Look what happened. See what just happened? I tapped my card and they just went into like the perfect little enamel dot shape. Tap your card when you're doing that. Look what happened. They're perfect. Okay, here we go. Go a little bigger on this guy. Okay. We'll give her a tap. Now I love the card. Now I love the card. Here we go. Tap. And they flatten out a little bit. Tap. And they flattened out. What do we think? I think the red was good, right? I love it. And guess what? You didn't need anything. You didn't need to get, we hand cut all of them. And you could have done any kind of star. And if you had dies, you could die cut that. But you know what? I won't be hard on myself because I kind of love it. And I think the red tied the red from the mat. So there we go. So don't forget, we have lots left. I can do all different kinds. I'm going to find, because I have dies that I can die cut some Christmas trees. So I'll do this as well. I'll do some die cut ones as well. And what are we going to do next week? Make your background, cut your trees, or just make your background. We're going to do a layout and we're going to do a whole wooded scene. Excuse me. And I'll set that aside to dry because you know what I'm going to do is put my hand right into the pops of color before they dry. I'm incredibly critical of my own stuff. Are you guys like that? Like incredibly critical. So I look at it and go, I could make this better. I could do better. But I will listen to my friends who tell me it's pretty. But I have all these backgrounds. I will do some more. And I'm going to continue cutting out trees. Because we want a whole wooded scene. So I'm going to make sure I do a bigger one out of this. I'll cut one out of this. I'll take every scrap that I have on this paper and this one and cut a whole handful of trees. And then join me next week. We're going to do another layered background. You'll need a full sheet of cardstock and we're going to do a layout using our scraps. Okay? Let me flip the camera around so I can talk to you. I can even use this one. They'll like that one. So what is your homework for next week? You need a full sheet, stencils and ink, because we'll make another layered background. And then I want you to, from tonight's, after you make your card, to cut a whole whack of trees out. We are going to create a layout with a whole bunch of our handmade trees. And do different shapes, whatever you want to do. Okay? Whatever you want to do. Because we have homework for next week. I have to teach all day tomorrow, so I got to get off here. Because I'm crazy like that. And I've also been sick for 2 weeks. So you know me, I just keep going. Once I get hanging out with my friends who tell me I'm smart. And I do good stuff. Then I just want to keep doing the good stuff. But that was fun. Where'd it go? Here it is. It's not bad. Right? So yes, don't forget, thumbs up the video if you haven't already. Make sure you hit subscribe. And I will be back here next Friday. And we are going to do part 2. See, I'm all French, speaking all my French now. Part 2 with doing a bunch of these trees. And we're going to do a single page layout. You could do a double. You just need extra trees and you can carry it over there. So it'll be similar to like that pattern paper that is in Mistletoe Memories. But we're going to make it out of our mixed media makes. I love it. So thank you very much for joining me. If you're watching after the fact, thank you very much. Leave comments in the regular comment section when we're done and let me know any ideas that I could make this all better. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're joining me for class tomorrow for the Mistletoe Memories Holiday Flip Book, I'll see you there. Otherwise, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed that. The whole process was super fun. Don't be afraid. It's just a piece of paper in your time. Do all the things. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.